Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I'm honored to be joined by our Council Vice President, Sam Newby, District 8 Councilwoman Jacoby Pittman, and District 10 Councilwoman Brenda Priestly-Jackson. To get to the root of why we are here today, we need to go back to more than a half a century to the campaign for city-county consolidation. It was at that time that promises were made to communities throughout Jacksonville, and especially the North Side, that voting for consolidation would bring investments in infrastructure and community improvements to neglected neighborhoods. Top among these investments was a commitment to phase out septic tanks and move neighborhoods onto the safer, more environmentally friendly, and more efficient sewer system. Year after year, administration after administration, this hasn't been fulfilled. When my team and I entered office in 2015, we came in with a commitment to investing in infrastructure in neighborhoods throughout this city. And we did that by proposing budgets with serious investments in our neighborhoods that had been neglected for so long. In fact, last year, the budget that I put forth to council that they approved included one of the largest capital improvement plans this city has seen. Being cognizant of these unfulfilled promises, we worked with JEA in 2016 to allocate a total of $30 million to septic tank phaseouts, and soon added another 15 to the effort to cover additional costs. As part of that work, my team put together and prioritized a list of more than 30 neighborhoods that sorely needed septic tank phaseouts. And we began to work on the top 3 neighborhoods on that list: Biltmore, Beverly Hills, and Christobel. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances and challenges that can occur in projects of this magnitude, our funding ran out and we didn't complete the project in these 3 neighborhoods. But while the funding fell short, our commitment to these communities did not, and that's why we're here today. Working in collaboration with council members Newby, Pittman, and Jackson, and with our partners at JEA, we're announcing a new plan to allocate additional dollars to complete the much-needed septic tank phaseouts in Beverly Hills and Christobel. The City of Jacksonville is putting forth $14.3 million. JEA will spend $12.5 million for a combined total of $26.8 million to complete the project and fulfill our 2016 commitment. This is the right thing to do for these communities, and it's the right thing to do for our city. But while I'm glad we're able to provide this funding for these 3 neighborhoods, there are over 30 on our priority list that still need this important work. Over 30 neighborhoods that are still waiting on this government to fulfill those promises. This work in total could cost more than $2 billion. That's $2 billion with a B. And for so long, government has looked at the project and said it's $1 billion project, it's too big, and just ignore it and move on. But we have to start somewhere. We can't keep writing this issue off as a multi-generational, multi-billion-dollar problem that's too big to address. We made promises to do this, and the time has come for government to start keeping its promises to its people, however big or however expensive. Stay tuned for a plan. I'm going to and am collaborating with my colleagues on the City Council to address this decade-old issue once and for all. Thank you for joining us this morning, and now I'd like to welcome our Council Vice President, Sam Newby.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I want to thank you, Mayor, for this effort. Also, I want to thank Councilwoman Jackson for her tireless effort, and also Councilwoman Pittman. This is a game changer. You know, the City of Jacksonville promised our citizens over 50 years ago that we would take care of them, and now we are. And so I am just so happy and so overjoyed to know that we are taking care of our citizens, because until every neighborhood is whole, no neighborhood is whole. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to share with everybody that when you say the terms infrastructure in Jacksonville and promises made, promises kept, it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But from the time that I started this service, working with my colleagues on the council and the mayor, infrastructure for me has meant fulfilling unfulfilled promises. And the easiest one to address was septic tanks, because the work had already been done. So the work started in 2016, identifying these neighborhoods and seeing which of those neighborhoods we could target and prioritize. Let's talk about Christobel for just a moment. Christobel is represented more capably and ably by my colleague and sister on the council, Jacoby Pittman. It's a very socioeconomically vulnerable area, very. And so, to me, we have an obligation, first and foremost, to serve the needs of the least among us. And what does that mean? For us, it's those neighbors who, for various reasons, have been overlooked and oftentimes find themselves challenged financially to address certain needs in their community. Christobel fits that description. And Councilwoman Pittman and I were talking one of the Social Justice and Community Investment Committee meetings, and I told her, I promise, I will continue to fight and work to make certain that we're not deficient in the funding for those projects. And let me just close on saying this. You don't always have 100% agreement on any issue, but you find those issues that matter and are core to your community and you work together. That is what Mayor Curry has done. This is an issue that we have synergy and commonality about. Does it fulfill all of the promises of consolidation infrastructure? No, but for the precious present of this day, we have funding to finish the work that we have begun, and we will work collaboratively to address the needs of our neighbors going forward. That's the beauty of consolidation. That's the beauty of it. Not only the mayor and the council, but JEA and our other partners in the city working together to address our vulnerable neighbors' needs. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for your ongoing support.
Good morning. And to the mayor and my colleagues and staff of JEA, you know, it's an honor to stand here this morning in this press conference in the atrium of City Hall. You know, the septic tank phase out for Christobel is a priority for me, and it has been. You know, unfortunately, because it's been under budgeted, those neighborhoods on the north side deserves an opportunity to have a quality of life. Unfortunately, you know, the real numbers for real issues, it was under budgeted. And after I've been in office, I realized the importance of folks that look like my grandmother and my aunt and my cousins who lived in those areas for several years. And it's time for us to make good on those promises, as you heard. You know, Councilwoman Priestley said, you know, is there a commitment versus consolidation? How do we make that right and resolve those broken promises to the residents? Because we're on their side. They've waited long enough for this project to come to fruition. The residents are tired of being sick and tired of waiting. Mayor Curry and members of City Council, I am glad to be here today for this announcement that we will make good on the promises of the failing septic tanks. I'm excited to be a part of a unified effort working for extraordinary residents who have waited for their turn in the pipeline for the improvements and the quality of life that is deserved right now. We stand to let the residents know that they're not forgotten and they're not left behind. And today I'm just excited that the mayor and my colleagues have made this a priority. Thank you.